The housing market in Warner Robins is changing extremely quickly, and if you don't pay attention, you could lose out on thousands of dollars. And home prices are rising even as buyer demand drops, and many are asking me this question: is a market crash coming, or will I miss my chance to buy? And in this video, I'm breaking down the latest Warner Robins and Macon real estate trends, the facts that nobody else will tell you. Should you panic? Should you buy? Should you sell? Well, by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what's going on in our marketplace. My name is Luke. I'm a realtor here in the local Middle Georgia area, and it's my job to make sure that you're comfortable and confident when buying or selling a home. So if you need any help at all, shoot me a text message. I would love to be able to serve you and your family. But without further ado, let's talk about what's going on in Middle Georgia. First and foremost, you can't talk about the market without talking about pricing and trends. Now, when it comes down to specific locations here in Middle Georgia, we can go and nerd out on the data points. A 2.3% increase in home price since last year. And Macon, it's been interesting. If you take Macon as a whole, we're actually seeing it go down 6.3%. But that's if we take it as a whole. The neighborhoods in the good school systems and in specific new construction neighborhoods, those prices continue to rise. So when we look at data and we look at pricing online, internet-wise, unless you go deep and dirty on the actual market trends, specifically based off of the areas and neighborhoods that you want to live in, it's kind of an up in the air. Now, a home is worth two things: what a buyer's willing to pay and what a bank is willing to loan. And that's what sellers have to go off of. So the home market and the trends completely differ depending on what location that you're in. However, as a whole, everything that I've been able to see is pretty healthy. I wouldn't be running away and thinking that the market's about to crash and that it's right now that you have to buy, or right now that you have to sell to be able to get that money. Or if you're a buyer, hold off. I'm not seeing that. And later in this video, I'm gonna tell you why. And that actually leads us to our point number 2, inventory shortage. You see, homes, when it comes to a market crash, when it comes down to like inflation and how much homes cost and everything else like that, throw all that knowledge out of your head, okay? It is supply and demand. And here currently we have a demand shortage. Builders are building like crazy, but there's still so many people wanting to move to the local Middle Georgia area, really for two reasons. Number one, great jobs. Robins Air Force Base, we have contractor jobs. I know there's crazy stuff going on when it comes down to government jobs, but here's the deal. There's contracting jobs that aren't going through what is called the GS scale. You can go NH, you can go all of these different routes, and you can still be a government contractor and not actually work for the government. And there are some juicy jobs here in the local area when it comes down to that. So people are still moving here for that reason. But number two, the reason they're moving here is cost of living. When you move from California, New York, Texas, Florida, the cost of living for what you're able to get here in the local area is completely bonkers. Okay, let's just take a family that I helped last week move up here from Florida. They sold their house for $650,000. They moved up here into a beautiful $400,000 home, nicer lot. It was a better home, right? It was brick on the outside, custom cabinets on the inside, granite, engineered hardwood floors. And overall, it was just a nicer place, but it was over $200,000 less. Depending on where you're moving from, great jobs, but also the cost of living cannot be beat. So when it comes down to the actual supply and demand of homes, it's kind of where we're at right now. And what's leading to that impact is even with lower buyer demand, home prices remain resilient due to supply shortages. So when there's a lower supply and that demand is still there, prices, they're not gonna go down. And this leads us into the situations that most buyers are in currently. With that being said, with limited inventory, buyers have less options, and with less options, you end up having to compete with people. Now, this isn't like a couple of years ago where you're getting 20, 30, 40 offers on a home. That was crazy. But if a good home comes on the market, it's properly marketed and it's fairly priced, you're looking at that home being on the market for just a few short days. And if you do want a home and you're a buyer, you're gonna have to get in there and you're gonna have to make a good offer if they priced it correctly. But let's segment into affordability, and let's talk about interest rates here for a second, because I'll be the bearer of bad news if you don't know this. We're sitting at right at 7% for the average interest rate. This hurts my soul. Just a few years ago, you would have been able to get 2%, 3%, depending on the type of loan that you were able to use, and now you're looking at 7%. That kills your home affordability. Money that could go towards a car payment, vacations, food, could go towards medical insurance is now now going to go towards your house. And if you don't properly budget, you're kind of running yourself into a bad situation. So when that is said, home affordability for most buyers has extended depending on the price range that you're at, but it could be an additional anywhere between $400 to $1,700 extra per month that you're just spending in interest, depending on your home's location compared to just a couple years ago. So you need to be able to put that into the calculator of what it costs when purchasing a home. If you need help with that, I would love to be able to help you. Shoot me a text message at 478-888-7808 and we can come and create some kind of strategy, okay? I'm trying to use a non-salesy word for this because I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but I'm a firm believer that your house must be a blessing and not a curse, and you need to know everything of what goes into that before you buy and move forward and sign anything. Because here's the deal. How much is the principal, the interest? How much is your insurance gonna be? What's trash costs? What about electric? What about your water? What about property taxes? Where I live in Byron, I get hit with city and county taxes. Adds up. It adds up a lot, okay? So we wanna make sure that when you get that going and you know exactly how much you're gonna spend per month before we even have a conversation about where you wanna live, because I wanna make sure that you always win. So that actually transitions us into days on market. So this means how long a home currently sits on the market. And as of right now, 47 days on market versus last year's 38. We see it's a cooling market, not a crashing market, but you see how I just said that a home could sell within a few days. Depends on how the home's marketed. Because if the home isn't overpriced, you have professional photography, you have professional video, you're running ads on that home, open house, door knocking, neighbors, everything that we do over here at Living in Middle Georgia to list a home for sale. Our average house, we haven't sold a house recently that hasn't gone under contract within 5 days. So it really all depends on the proper marketing of the home and is that home properly priced. However, just in Warner Robins alone, average days on market's 47. So if you are a buyer, you have the chance, but you have to make sure that you're strategic with it, and we go over the details on that. So specifically when you're looking to go and buy a home, we need to be able to look, is that a fair price? Was a comparable market analysis ran on that home? All of those details to make sure that the home that you're looking on online is actually worth what it is. That's how you win. And with that being said, there's specific pricing strategies that sellers use, and overpricing completely ruins everything. We went through a season for the last year and a half where every single seller, it felt like, was overpricing their home and it was making it sit on the market for longer and longer and longer, thinking that they could have just went with the trend of inflation. But now that we have a new president in office and things are changing and inflation is slowly coming back, you can't inflate the prices of homes as much as you could previously, and they're sitting on the market for longer and longer. But that gives you the opportunity, if you're a buyer, to be able to properly negotiate and kind of beat them up a little bit, right? You can come to the table with a proper CMA if you have the right agent on your team, or if you do that research deep on your own, not part of this video, send me a text message, I'll show you how to do that. And on the selling side, if you can strategically price your home correctly and have the right marketing, you can get above asking price. Just 2 weeks ago, we were able to list a home and we sold it for $15,000 over asking price in South Macon. And the average days on market in that neighborhood was 67. We got that sucker under contract in 5 days. So I know this video is about market trends here in Warner Robins and Macon, so I just want to let you know, buyers, you need to make sure that the house that you want to buy is properly priced, and if it's not, you negotiate for a better deal. And sellers, if you overprice, you're really screwing yourself. So you kind of want to marry those two things together depending on who's watching this video, and if you need any more information on that, shoot me a text message, I'll be able to help you out. But to finish this video off, I wanted to go over the outlook of what I believe here is going to happen in 2025, and here are the 3 key things. Number 1, I do not expect a crash, and a lot of experts actually predict steady and modest growth, and they're thinking of about a 2% increase throughout 2025. So simple math, a $100,000 home by the end of 2025 will be worth $102,000, $200,000 home, $204,000. It's modest. It's kind of slowing down due to the ramp up over the last couple of years, but hey, still positive equity in your pocket if you own a home. And my next prediction for sellers is it's not going to be a frenzy like we saw in 2001. And what needs to happen is strategic pricing and proper marketing, or your home's going to sit and you will get less than asking price. A home is worth two things: what a buyer's willing to pay and what a bank's willing to loan. You must price that home correctly, and you must market it to make sure it gets in front of the right buyer, the right place at the right time, and you get them in your home, get them to fall in love, and get them under contract. And lastly, buyers, I don't see prices dropping. So if you're waiting for that to happen, you might be waiting too long and just seeing prices of homes continuing to increase, and you keep paying the landlord every single month. Would you rather pay money towards a landlord, or would you rather pay money into equity of something that's yours? Let's have a conversation if you are. So if you need any personalized help at all, please shoot me a text message at 478-888-7808. I would love to be a great resource for you. I can help you with anything Middle Georgia, buying a house, selling a house, great gyms in the area, places to eat, or if you need any VA help, or if you want to talk about Jesus, we can do any of the above. I'm always here to be able to help you. That's why I have this YouTube channel here in the first place. So again, if you need anything, shoot me a text message. And if you want to know one of the recent homes that sold in our listing area, check out this video.